It's about a good day here so far. They defeated Wynnum-Manly 26-4 in the Colts, and in reserve grade, a very good Valleys reserve grade unit, 14 points to 8.
Tessman, the tall prop, takes play just short of the quarter line. Dawes out to French. Herring in there to make the tackle with Hone. Going back the other way with Lewis. Miles. Lindner comes around him, loses the ball backwards, and picked up by Bennett King. Marchant doesn't let him get away. Allen. Plenty of defence comes in there. Dowling around the legs. Dowling looks keen, fired up, looking at his face. Taylor. Dowling's been out for 6 weeks with that chest injury. Loose pass, kicked ahead by Stewart, and Marchant juggles it. King can't pick it up, no one can get hold of it. Finally Stewart back there. Went forward, knock on.
Nella, the captain of Valleys today, having plenty to say at the scrum, pointing the finger, saying we have to tidy things up, no mistakes in our own territory. You cannot afford to surrender possession to a side like Wynnum-Manly.
Dawes to feed. Seagull's ball. Lewis looks at Scott, but goes himself. Now pops it up for Dawes. Miles. Scott tries to put it over the top, basketball style, but it rebounded straight into the arms of Michael Booth.
Wynnum-Manly trying a few things, but it's the keenness of the Valleys defence at the moment, not giving them time. Here's a good run from Nella, but not giving Wynnum-Manly time. If you give a side like Wynnum-Manly time, they'll make you look very ordinary. You've got to bustle.
Cut out pass behind Allen to Hone. Wilson. Just went underneath the swinging arm of Dowling. Wood. Herring. Stewart. Pushes away from two. Striding downfield. Good cover from Wally Lewis.
Great cover, Wally Lewis, but he pushed away Gene Miles in that run.
Now Valleys looking out wide. Ricks decides to put it up, but it comes off the side of the boot straight across field, taken by Dawes. 10 metres short of the halfway.
The idea was right there from Grant Ricks to put a bit of extra pressure on Wynnum by putting up the high ball, but it's a terrible kick and took all the pressure off.
Dowling. Dowling looking bigger than we've seen him. The break may have added a few pounds. Jenner onto Naylor, flying through the gap. Naylor stretching out, looks inside for his winger. Gets a pass away to Nichols. Nichols for the line. He's over.
That's right. Wynnum-Manly on the boil. As soon as they got the ball out on the fringe of the rucks, they can't be held. And it was Brian Naylor, one of the most underrated players in Brisbane football, put beautifully through the gap. And it was Nella who really didn't cover man on man by going in just a little bit too close to the ruck. Look at this, switching back on the blind side. Good work from Jenner. Handles the ball well. There was Naylor. Naylor should have been one out. He should have been putting himself one-on-one. And then Brian Naylor just had to run to the fullback, turn it back on the inside. And beautiful back up there from Scott Nichols. Gets the ball down.
Engines. That was Thomas's job.
Scott. Dowling coming onside slowly. Tessman. Lewis shouting a few instructions. Jenner. Oh, he's tried to slip it to French, who was really on the boil, but it travelled forward.
I saw in the first half that Wynnum-Manly had a bit of trouble getting out of their own quarter because they were making mistakes similar to that.
Diehards feed, but the penalty goes to Wynnum against David Wood for putting it in the second row. Lewis looks for touch, gains 35 metres, takes play back into the Valleys quarter, Valleys end of the field. There's Dowling with it. Tessman. Now the rain really starting to come down, progressively getting heavier since the beginning of this second half. Good dummy from Dawes. Herring across. Lewis is there on the inside. He couldn't get the pass. Jenner down in back play. Dowling. Lindner puts a quick little kick through. It goes through to Booth's legs. Lindner keeping it on the toe. All he has to do is fall on it. And he's done it. Try to Wynnum-Manly.
Great work from Bob Lindner. Showing all the skills. He covers the little ball through, and I think he caught Valleys unawares because not expecting it, and then he followed up his own kick. He made sure that he was going to put pressure on Michael Booth. Have a look at it from dummy half. To Dowling. Out to Lindner, the little grubber kick through, put it on the ground and anything can happen. There's Michael Booth, he couldn't catch it on first attempt and then just gets kicked out of the grass, and Bob Lindner, following his own double kick through, scores it right under the post. Have a look from head on, and I really think Valleys caught unawares here. Certainly Michael Booth, whilst he was in good position, I don't think was ever expecting the little one on the ground. It's rolling around, bouncing around awkwardly, straight between his legs, and then Bob Lindner chasing it up, just kicks it away from him, and just a nice little touch too. Not kicking it too far, and still be able to get there and put it down for 4 points, 2 to come.
Colin Scott has the ball placed just to the left of the uprights. Coming into the match, he had a success rate of 62%, having kicked 26 goals from 42 attempts this season. In fact, Colin Scott third on the list of goal kickers this season, behind Michael Booth and Pat Shepherdson. Moves in. No difficulty, so that's 3 from 3 for Colin Scott today. So he'd be very satisfied with that. Diehard's ball. Wood has it. Taken by Lindner, getting out of the scrum. King, French with Dawes, make the tackle. Nella, Strasser it is. Herring makes a few metres on the halfway line. Strasser, Ricks, Tengdahl. Back to Strasser again. They're all in front of him.
Yeah, someone's got to run. Strasser can't stand around and start looking for a runner. They've done well to pop the ball up, and all they needed was someone else to come on and take advantage.
Ricks driving along the ground, and right along the ground, too good for Nichols. Finding touch, let's see, just 8 metres out from the goal line.
Even though the ball hit the corner post, it had gone into touch just beforehand. Grant Ricks has had a quiet game today. He's going to need to do more in terms of running the ball.
Dawes feeds. Referee says we'll have it again. Taylor has a loose arm for Valleys. He's still on his feet.
Keith Nella trying to hold it up. There he is. You can see
down
the
go the Valleys front row. Dawes has it for the Seagulls.
Once that arm slips off there of the hooker, it's the job of the tight head to ensure that he holds him up with his arm.
Nichols.
Of course, it only slips off accidentally.
Dowling. Lewis says, let's get out of here. Good kick too. Splitting the gap between King and Booth. Taking play just a few metres short of the goal line. So that was a 75-metre gain for that kick. Booth runs it up. Miles and Naylor combined to bring him down. Tengdahl. Taylor.
It's too much to ask for the little hooker to take it up. There's a few forwards not doing their job.
Allen. He's penetrated. Goes straight through the middle. Looks inside for Wood. Gets a pass, but he's struck down in a good tackle from Lindner.
Work from Lindner. Bob Lindner's having a good game too.
Ricks taking it up quickly, trying to keep the attack going.
Had plenty of support out here. This is
Solosky, Herring, Nella. Now Tengdahl drops a ball with a chance.
Well, Nella had done well just to hold in Wally Lewis there and put Tengdahl into the gap. He had every right to catch that ball, but Tengdahl looks at his hands. The rain coming down very heavily now, but they are once again using the synthetic balls. He should have taken it. Valleys aren't going to get much better chances than that.
Dawes to feed the scrum. Marchant from dummy half. Dowling.
Raining quite heavily now. You can see it dropping off the awning in front of the commentary box.
Good burst from French to Jenner. Perugia backing up as always. Takes play over the halfway. Wynnum backs looming up now. Nella got in the road. He was offside. Lewis. Dowling. Lindner knocked over. He was running strongly. It was a good tackle from King. Now Miles decides to shoot for field goal. There's a fair way out. It's gone to the right-hand side of the posts.
Just shows you how much Wynnum-Manly are in control at the moment when they decide just to have a bit of a pot shot. Admittedly, a 12-point lead. 13 points would put them further than a two converted try margin. A nice, handy little buffer.
Michael Booth throws the ball back to Taylor for the tap. Restart. Nella. Bounces away from Tessman. French and Jenner clean him up. Allen. Again, Tessman comes in chest on, but French is there to make the tackle. Wood. Wilson. Ricks. Nice tackle from Lindner. Copybook around the ankles. Strasser. King shows his pace. Wilson inside, slips over. King has to go himself, flings it backwards, misses the man in support, and Lewis gathers. And now it's with Scott.
Bennett King, a real flyer. Just offloaded possibly a silly pass there when Valleys were in good attacking position.
Then the hookers meet each other. Tessman.
There's the Valleys reserve bench huddling in. Mark Hayne was replaced at half-time. Greg Walker, also the trainer Brian Canavan, and they're huddling in there under the covers of the dugout to keep out of the wet weather at the moment.
Jenner to his feet. The Wynnum backs well spread. Miles holds it up for Lewis. And now bursting through is Colin Scott. Plenty of room to move. Looks for support. Out there is Lindner. Also Marchant. Marchant on to Booth. Booth makes a tackle. Lindner again backing up. But he's knocked over the touchline. Threw the ball back inside. But the linesman's flag was up.
Great passage of play from Wynnum-Manly. All came from a set piece right back on their own. This was a set piece, would you believe it? Lewis came around, picked up Colin Scott, then the ball nicely out front. Look at this. Run onto it. Gave it out to Lindner, out to Marchant. Lindner wasn't knocked over there. Should have been by the defender. That would have kept him out of play. And then Lindner backing up, but then got covered by Bennett King, I think it was, who knocked him in a touch.
Wood feeds a scrum. The weight there from Wynnum. Valley's ball.
That rule that says that the ball's got to come out of the scrum before anyone can break, I think, is stretched to the limit on most occasions.
Booth loses the ball. Dangerous position. But luckily for him, forward player came flying in, and that was Taylor. Taylor deserves Booth's thanks there. Strasser. Taylor dummy half. There's a Wynnum player on the ground in the road. And the penalty's gone to Valleys. Tessman it is getting up off the ground. He was right in the middle of the play the ball.
Tessman there was injured. There he is lying at the base of the ruck, and well, he was trying to get out of the road. I think that's pretty tough. In actual fact, Dawes should never have pushed the Ziggy Strasser back as he was trying to play the ball. So the penalty could have gone for either one. Let's hope it was for pushing him to play the ball rather than Tessman being injured at the base of the ruck.
Wood to Wilson and Stewart. Takes on the forwards, and halfway through, French holding on to him. And French hurt there. Fumble at the dummy half. Play on, says the referee. It went backwards. That was Taylor. Strasser. Trying to get the arms free. Wood to Wilson. Allen running wide, two off the ruck, back inside to Wilson. Wood. Little jink. Lewis and Dawes combined to put him on the ground. Strasser. Back inside is Taylor backing up, but the ball pops up in the air. Knock on. Managed to hold on to it.
Great tackle from Lewis. It's noticeable that he's been playing more in the front line today rather than in behind. So he decides to play up for about 3 of the tackles and then drops back as things get more into the area of the kicking game.
Wynnum leading Valleys 18-6. We had 17 minutes in the second half. Dawes dives back on. March of the dummy half. By Taylor and Nella. Dowling. Tessman. Taking them on, one up. Wynnum, but making ground downfield with each tackle. Lewis. Miles throws the dummy, goes straight through, pops it back to Lewis, he can't handle it. Picked up by Herring. Back it goes to Allen. Quickly turning it around Valleys, and good pass. King handles it well, pulled that one in with one hand.
Valleys giving Wynnum a little bit of their own tonic on the break. They've got to go on with it.
Tengdale.
Lewis was offside there, knew he was inside the 5 metres and hung out of it. Interfered in the play the ball in though.
Inside the Seagulls quarter. Wilson, Booth. Strasser floats it over the top to Chalosky. Nice pass. Well judged.
Valley should be starting to throw it around even though it's a pretty wet day. Whoops, a daisy. You won't throw it around like that. Mark Wilson taking his eye off the ball. Didn't slip out of his hands. And Valley's really, if they're going to trouble Wynnum, they'll do better to throw the ball around now. They took them on up the middle in the first half and they did it pretty well. Now's the time, even with the conditions. Lang Park doesn't get slippery. Might get just a little bit wet, but it's not a greasy ground. And you can still play pretty good open football. As the scrums at the moment, 7-all, one tight head to Wynnum-Manly.
Referee gives the penalty to Wynnum. The front rows are down once more. Taylor up quickly to show that he wasn't at fault, but penalty already given. Lewis finds touch. 3 scrum penalties to 1 in favour of Wynnum so far in the match. On the halfway line, it's Nichols.
Saw that close-up of Lewis then, thinking all the time. He's just working out what sort of set move they got. Wynnum-Manly very deep here. Let's have a look at it.
Peregia comes around, back inside is Lindner, and Allen drives in with a shoulder. Seen some good tackling in this match. Lewis back inside to Miles. French through the gap, steps clear, striding out, backing up with Scott. The defence converges on him. It's a good tackle to put him on the ground. That was Wilson, can cover defence. Wynnum trying to get on with it quickly. Naylor kicked to the head with his foot. It wasn't a knock on. French weaving his way through the forwards. 5th tackle, only a couple of metres out. Lewis looking towards the blind side. Tries to go across and was intercepted by King. How much pace has he got? Not enough. Naylor comes across.
She's had a sensational game. Bennett King, a rather cheeky game too. Or was it? Yeah, Bennett King. Let's have a look at it. Lewis tries to let one go and then fire the pass out. King read it well, tapped it up and then re-caught it and then took off. But as Naylor was coming in on his right-hand side, tried to cut back inside him. That's where he slipped over. And a penalty has gone to Valleys.
It was against Gene Miles. Wouldn't let the tackle player up off the ground. Grant Ricks finds touch. Taylor to take the tap. Nella. Early front rowers lost the ball on the first tackle.
You can't afford it. Not good enough there from Valleys. It's the second time in the match that I can recall on the very first tackle from a tap penalty, the ball being grassed.
French down injured.
Wally Lewis packing into lock. Marchant going to 5'8", and French out onto the wing. That's a pretty quick change.
Dawes feeds. Penalty to Valleys. It was against Peter Dawes. So I'm not sure exactly what the penalty was for.
Might have been for the second row feed, but here's a chance for Valleys now. Of course, another penalty deep inside Wynnum-Manly's territory. 19 minutes to go in the match. They can't afford to surrender possession. Here's Dawes now, putting it in, and a little bit from right to left, and that's what Eddie Ward got him for. Better put it in straight.
King plays the ball. Now it's out to Nella.
Pretty basic from Valleys. They want to be setting for something.
In centre field, Wood, Wilson, Stewart loses the ball, just pops straight out. Marchant dives on it. Dawes. Nichols. Jenner. Lindner was coming through. Jenner couldn't get the arms free. Tessman.
He worked hard all day, Andrew Tessman.
Fifth tackle. Lewis. Cross to Scott. Booth has it covered well. Trying to link up with King. Looks back inside. Oh, if he looked back inside, the pass was there.
Yeah, he just went one pace too far before looking. Then King had done well to come back on the inside.
Booth and Marchant having a bit of an argument. Oh, and Marchant comes in on Strasser with the swinging arm. Allen.
Bennett King looking to the touch judge for assistance.
Wood forced to go on by himself. Nello was just overrunning him as he tried to get the cutout pass across field. Wilson to Herring. Ricks. Ricks hasn't shown a lot of variation. He's running strongly but going straight ahead all the time and not really causing much confusion in the defence. Stewart puts it up with the left footer. And it's a good kick too, coming down near the post. Taken well by Lewis with his back towards the defence.
Well, he was hoping there that his foot would have been in the in-goal area because it would have been a restart from the 22.
Scott.
Let's have a look at it. Lewis, they're coming back from behind him. That's a hard one to take. Look at him position it and just try and get the foot there into the in-goal area. Couldn't do it. Play on.
Tessman. Tengdahl puts him to ground. Lewis getting good kick under pressure, always finding the open spaces. Cholosky brings it back up, pushes away from Dawes. Good work. Takes play to the halfway. Ricks doesn't look quite as mobile, David.
No, I think he's still having trouble with that right knee, Warren. He hurt it very badly last year, hurt it again at the start of this year. He's been back now for a couple of months, but I still don't think he's 100% fit.
Seems to be running smoothly enough in a straight direction, but doesn't have a step. Wilson, Tengdahl, Booth, and wrapped up by French.
Valleys there passing without purpose.
Tengdahl, fifth tackle. Wilson spears for touch, takes play to the quarter line for the scrum.
Valleys having the better of this second half territorially. They're being able to contain Wynnum inside their own territory, but really they haven't troubled Wynnum on a number of occasions. They're lacking a little bit of variety and a little bit of crisp passing. Wynnum-Manly defence has been committed, something that Lewis has been pretty proud of this season.
Notice Tengdahl doesn't seem to be getting the room to move that he has in previous games we've seen from him. He's been involved in the play but not really making the breaks.
Yeah, and he's a player that when given half a chance too, he's very quick, Brett Tengdahl. He could go looking for a little bit more work as well.
Wynnum feed. Scrum collapses, the front rows are down once more, but Wynnum with possession. Nichols has it. Wynnum leading 18-6. 14 minutes remaining in the game. Lindner.
As Bob Lindner realises now with the unfortunate injury to Wayne Pearce. This will be interesting. Penalty to Valleys for Bob Lindner picking up in the play the ball. Let's have a look at it. Lindner felt that the marker wasn't directly in front of him as he gets up. Let's have a look. Now, if the marker is not directly there, you can pick the ball up. Nello a little bit slow on the scene, and Eddie Ward's adjudicated that Bob Lindner actually picked up in the ruck, which is similar to handling in the scrum. Penalty to Valleys, a chance once again for them to put a bit of pressure on Wynnum-Manly. They'll need some straight and hard runners.
Penalty was touch and go, just a fraction of a second either way. Really decided that one.
I think it's pretty hard done by. Here's a little set piece from Valleys.
And they really need a try here. Taylor has it. gives it to Stewart coming through. And hold him up. Taylor. He's got to go quicker and lower and harder than that. Herring. Wood. Wilson. Sights a little gap. Spears for it, but can't quite evade the tackle. Lindner made the tackle. Strasser pops a little one over the top, coming through as Ricks. He's up for it. He gathers. He's flung to ground right on the try line, but he's held up.
Gee, who was it who's underneath him there? Might have even been the maestro himself, Wally Lewis. Ricks looked like all he had to do was take that ball and put it down. Or was it Tony Marchant? Great work from Marchant, getting a pat on the back by a couple of his players. Then look at this. Good little kick, this one from Ziggy Strasser. Grant Ricks comes through, puts his eye directly onto the ball, takes it there, only had to take it and fall over, it appeared, but Marchant went up, realised he didn't have it, and then had to turn Ricks over. Wasn't going to let him get across the line as easy as that. Turn him over, put him on his back like a turtle. As he tries to get it down, in comes Ferrugia. Hands in underneath. Gee, that's good work. Look at good refereeing from Eddie Ward too. The ball suspended in midair. Never did get the ball down. First class refereeing and good bit of play from all concerned.
There's nothing in that one.
And good work from our cameras too, right on the spot. Good work from all concerned.
Rain continuing to belt down. It's been steady right throughout the half. Dawes has it. The Valleys really needed a try there. They're 12 points down. Only 11 minutes remaining.
Yeah, offside, inside the 5 metres. Ward quite right. And Bob Lindner, the experience of Lindner, playing for it too. He caught Gavin Allen inside the 5 metres. As he came out of dummy half, Gavin Allen hadn't got back. There's the rain, quite heavy now. And quite a good lead now for Wynnum-Manly. 12 points. It's pretty hard to come back with conditions like this.
Dowling making good ground, struggling forward.
He's enjoyed himself today, Greg Dowling. He hasn't been outstanding, but he also hasn't weakened at all. He's run on very well.
Naylor. Still plenty of talk out there on the field from both teams. Dawes to French. Miles. Dawes again. French again. And lifting the knees and driving out of the tackles. Pulling away from the defenders. Miles. Slips a good pass to Ferrugia. Lots of speed, the little hooker. Nichols. Fifth tackle. They're 20 metres out. Got Valleys backpedaling. Lewis. Ball touch. 6 more tackles. Dowling straightens up.
Greg Dowling knew it was touched and he wasn't going to take any chances from that one.
Tessman.
Gene Miles down injured after offloading that ball a couple of plays ago.
Dawes.
Now let's see what Wynnum-Manly can do as they get inside Valleys territory, deep inside it for one of the few occasions in the second half. There's a score, 18 points to 6. Can they put some more on?
Scott coming back through the forwards.
There's an indication of the variation they've got in their play. There's about 4 or 5 players involved in that little simple play around the ruck.
Quickly turns to the blind side with Naylor. Naylor crashed by King. He's struggling for the line. He's driven backwards. 5th tackle. Naylor doing everything he could to get to the line. Dowling. Lewis, little kick through. Bounces off for a Valleys player. 6s and 7s. Dowling dives back on it. 6 more tackles. Well, a real chance for Wynnum here. They've had 12 tackles in a row to mount pressure. King kicks it through. 6 more again. Tessman has it. Lindner decides to have a run from dummy half. Extreme pressure here on the diehards. Jenner. Miles. It's Colin Scott out of 1. Just knocked over by Allen. Valleys line still intact. Lewis spins it out to Miles. The big centre bursts through. Jenner has it. He stretches out over the line. Reaches in for the 4-pointer.
Hard to stop Wynnum-Manly in this sort of mood. It's the sort of players they've got when they can stand in tackles. Valleys were doing their darndest there to hold them out, but it was the power of Lewis, the long pass. Then it was Gene Miles that was involved in it. Have a look at this. Lewis up one, then Gene Miles taking him on, standing in the tackle, and good work from Daryl Jenner to back up and gets across nicely the front rower. From behind now, Wally Lewis skirted across left to right. That stretched the Valleys defence. And then Gene Miles said, there's no more stretching here. I'm going to take you on. Then the one-handed one free. Out he goes. Jenner puts it down.
Colin Scott has 3 from 3. This one a little wider than some of the other attempts, so he did put one in from route very wide earlier on. This one straight between the posts. Wynnum 24, Valley 6. Good lead for the Seagulls. Valley's bringing play back to the halfway slowly now. They've been beaten, but David, they've put in a fairly creditable effort nevertheless.
It's amazing side Wynnum-Manly, aren't they? Like, they haven't completely dominated this match from gate away, but certainly when it comes to try scoring, they do it well. They don't have to be on top all the time, but once they get a chance, they go ahead and score points. That's been the difference with Valleys. Valleys have put a lot of good play together, but they haven't been putting the ball across the try line, and I mean, that's what the game's all about, and Wynnum-Manly do it well.
Replacement on for Wynnum-Manly is Tony Jamot. He takes the ball from the kickoff. Things play up to the quarter line. French. Dawes to Jenner. Halfway through the tackle, Dawes backing up well. Lindner still going, flicks it back inside for Marchant, but it's on the ground. Marchant's offside. Yes, Dawes touched the ball and it went forward to Marchant. So the penalty to Valleys. Greg Dowling, the player, off for Wynnum after a good effort.
Here's Bobby Lindner flicking it back. Should have a little bit more control, and that it was always going to go to ground. Dawes couldn't handle it, and there's Marchant in an offside position. Penalty to Valleys.
So Herring takes the tap. Allen. Only 10 metres out. Nella. Taylor at dummy half. Wood, Wilson, Stewart. Loses the ball backwards in the tackle. Booth. Tengdale from dummy half. Ooh, he's only a metre out.
There's a better positive running.
Now Taylor flings it out with a little bit too much hand on top of that one. Top spinner. Out it went to Herring.
Yeah, all the momentum lost there. Valley's going to have to control their attack a little bit better.
Allen. Wilson switches it to Wood. Wood trying to get around Jenner. Back inside to Herring. It went backwards. Allen. Wilson again. Tries to step past the defence, but they wrap him up. And it's a turnover. There's
the difference between the two sides. Wynnum-Manly backs to the wall, a good controlled defensive pattern that didn't allow Valleys any sort of openings at all. On the other hand, when Wynnum-Manly get in an attacking position, it's very, very hard to hold them out. He's been tireless today, Andrew Testman, taking the ball up very, very strongly, as his co-front rower.
Jenner, there he is, the co-front rower. And he breaks the line. Looks for Naylor. Naylor takes on Cholosky back inside. It was Rickson. He got a hand to it, knocked it down. French was backing up.
A couple of replacements coming out for Wynnum-Manly. Number 16 for Wynnum. Let's have a look at it again. That was that long pass out. There's Naylor going down the touchline. The ball just knocked clear and into touch. Scrum to pack. Gene Miles has been replaced. And a big round of applause, and it looks like Wally Lewis has decided to give himself a rest.
And Craig Perugia.
Yeah.
Mass replacements. Pick them up in a moment. The penalty goes to Wynnum. Valley's collapsing again. They've had a few problems in the front row, trying desperately to get the scrum. We've already seen one replacement for Wynnum. That was Tony Jamot. He came on for Greg Dowling. And now running it up as Nichols. Going to dummy half is Rob Rattiri, number 16. He replaced Perugia. Dawes. Now it comes out across the back line, but no, doubles back Jamot. And, on the fingertips is Colin Scott. He couldn't quite hold it. Another replacement out there, number 20, is Brad Morgan, playing 5'8" for Wally Lewis.
Plenty of talk here over the weekend about a Brisbane team joining the Sydney competition. Of course, it was raised on this program around about 6 weeks ago that a Brisbane team should get into the Sydney comp next year. But it's to be hoped that we don't have to put in an A reserve, C grade, under 21. Here's Wynnum with the ball.
Here's Morgan.
It's hoped that we only have to put in one team, because that's not the idea. We don't want to take everyone out of the Brisbane comp. It's just a case of the best 17 who we're losing anyway.
Naylor onto Marchant, and there's the replacement on the wing is Greg Street. He's playing on the wing with Marchant in the centres for Gene Miles. Naylor has it. Interior dummy half. Has a go himself. Only a couple of metres out. Wynnum hungry for more points. Jenner, Lindner, Scott coming back at the angle. 5th tackle.
Great chance for Bob Lindner now to get on this kangaroo tour. He was always some sort of chance.
Dawes pops it over the top, but well taken by Bennett King. He's telling the referee that he took it on the full in his in-goal area.
And he's quite right too.
Ward,
yeah, he's allowing him to come out now, and I think it's only just dawned. No, he's not allowing him to come out. Well, it was only just dawning on him, but certainly he did take it on the full, and should have been allowed to come out to the 22-metre line.
Ball lost backwards. Nella dives for it. Didn't get a hand to it, or Strasser it was. Wilson picks it up.
Yes, with that unfortunate injury now to Wayne Pearce of Balmain, Bobby Lindner with a great chance to make the Kangaroo Tour at the end of the year, and he realises a couple of big matches leading into the finals, plus the finals for Wynnum. We'll see him with a ticket on the Kangaroo Tour.
Well, some determination from Stewart, running it forward. He knocked 3 or 4 out of his road then. Ricks. Only a minute in the match. Wynnum leading 24-6. Strasser pops it up, goes straight up in the air, taken by Jenner. Cholosky overran it. Jenner slowly to his feet, using up time, playing out the match. Jamot. Tessman. Interior dummy half. Dawes. Looking to the blind side. Now it comes to the open. Puts a grubber in, but well taken by the big prop Paul Stewart. You see how fast the big fella is. He's got support with Wood inside him. Scott comes across. He pops it over the top for Wood. Wood's still going. Knocked over on the quarter line.
20 seconds to go. Let's see if Valleys can capitalise on it.
There's Street and Scott making the tackle. Penalty to Valleys, not allowing the tackle player to get to his feet and play it. And
yes.
He's given Scott 5 minutes in the sin bin for a deliberate penalty, I suppose. Tengdal puts a kick through while I was on the first tackle, and no one else knew about it. And that's full time for Wynnum-Manly, running out winners by 24-6. Scorers in the match for Wynnum-Manly: tries to Nichols, French, Lindner and Jenner, while Colin Scott had a good day with the boot, 4 from 4. For Valleys, the only try scorer was Gavin Allen, and Michael Booth kicked 1 goal from 1 attempt. Final score 24-6. Statistics in the match: scrums went to Wynnum-Manly 10-7, with 2 tight heads also going to the Seagulls 2-0, and penalties 9-7 in favour of Valleys. Well, David, before the match we posed the question, are Valleys serious premiership contenders? Having seen them go around today, what do you think?
I think, Warren, Wynnum-Manly were always going to be the team to beat. At the same time, I think Valleys, if they are going to be competitive, they've got to change a few things. They lack try-scoring potential. I thought they played pretty well today, but between the goal lines, they couldn't get the ball across the try line. They're going to have to get a little bit more variety, a little bit more pace, and see if they can go from there. But just at the moment, they're too mundane, too straight up and down.
They need something extra. Who are your best players in the Valleys lineup?
Well, I thought for Valleys, I thought Bennett King had an exceptional game. He reminds me a lot of Les Kiss. Gavin Allen, a player of outstanding ability in the second row. And Craig Taylor, well, he never stopped tackling. For Wynnum-Manly, on the other hand, I thought their forward pack went particularly well. Bob Lindner had a very good game, and he's really trying to stake a claim for that Kangaroo Tour. Greg Dowling, a successful comeback, but it was in the front row, I felt. But Andrew Tessman, an extremely good game from the young fellow. And the big league Winfield Cup man of the match, Daryl Jenner. Daryl, pretty hard side to star in this Wynnum-Manly one.
Oh, mate, it's a real good side to be playing in, you know. It's, as long as you do your job, I think, it's, you know, you get on all right for the boys.
And ball distribution, that's yours?
Oh, for the moment, while GD's getting a bit of fitness back there.
Yeah, and you also defended very strongly today and ran in a try yourself.
Yeah, that's always handy.
Yeah, that's good. And what about Valleys? They seem to play pretty well, but couldn't get the ball across the try line.
I think it's just some of our last-ditch defence is working pretty well, but they're always a hard side to beat.
Congratulations on a great game today.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Terrific.
Well, Daryl Jenner mentioned that Wynnum-Manly's defence was pretty good, and I guess in being critical of Valleys and in the way they lack variety in attack, you've got to give plenty of credit, really, to the way Wally Lewis has got that defensive pattern working.
They can attack and defend. Let's look at the other results today. At North Ipswich, Souths 20, defeated Ipswich 18. Bishop Park, Norths 18, defeated West 14, and that's 5 in a row for Norths. At Langlands Park, Brothers 40, whitewashed East 0. Redcliffe had the bye, and that takes them to the top of the table, or they're on top anyway. They're still there, 26 points.